hope you enjoy this video. Time to dive into the book.
Hello, this is Jessica with On a Stack of Books, and today's video is a weekly wrap-up. I do want to mention that I'm sure you noticed right there, I have a new intro. My daughter made that for me, and so I love it. She's 12. Let me know what you think, but she did that completely on her own. So let's get into the books. This week, I have gotten some really good reading done, and I hope that I keep it right, because this is following the Yellow Book Road by Lauren and Ben at The Youngs and Restless. And so the first one, I will start with them because this was their prompt and it was something scary. And this has been on my shelf and it's listed as a thriller horror. It was very good. I really enjoyed this, and I started listening to this as an audiobook. And about less than halfway through, in the story, she's describing these pictures. It's a 20-something young girl that becomes a nanny for a little boy who is, oh gosh, how old is he? Why can I never remember these details? 7, 8. Yeah, somewhere around there. And, like most children, they draw pictures, but the mother is disturbed by some of the pictures. Some of the pictures are like unsettling as far as what's happening in the picture. Let me see if I can find one. Because we've got, of course, like the normal cute birds, but then there is kind of a scary friend. And so she's describing these in the audio book as I'm listening. Well, and then I just happened to pick up the book off of the shelf. Like, here we go. Like, let's have lunch with a scary friend. And all of a sudden, there's all the pictures. And I was like, oh, there's another unsettling picture. So I would recommend reading the physical book for this. The audio version was really good and I really enjoyed it. But once I picked up the book and realized, oh yeah, there's actually pictures in here, it helps because to see the progression of the pictures and to see, as the story unfolds, the pictures obviously play the hidden pictures. It's a huge part of the story. So really good book, and wow, what a unexpected little twist in there towards the end that I did not see coming at all. But really enjoyable. And I will say, how sometimes you're listening, you're reading a book, you're watching a movie, and a character in there is just doing stupid things, and then they're not telling people, and you're like, why are you doing that? She would do things that I was like, I wouldn't do that. Oh, you shouldn't do that. Oh, I don't really, but then she communicated and she talked, and there was none of that stupid things would be resolved if you just talked about it spaces in the story. So I appreciated that. But really, really good. I very much enjoyed this. And so I got through it pretty quickly with the audiobook because I was doing other things and gardening and cleaning and laundry and whatever while I was listening to this. So very good audiobook, but definitely a physical book that I would recommend for sure. So I finished this one, and so this satisfies the scared to read, scary something for the Yellow Book Road for the Youngs and the Restless. And then I picked up, after I did the video for my pile of possibilities, and I did not include this one, I didn't even mention, but this is for Lindsay's little library, and she had a nonfiction book as one of her prompts. And I had just recently picked up some dandelions as I was walking, and I was like, oh, I'm going to plant these because we're doing some gardening right now. It's spring, and I have always eaten the dandelions and had the tea. I would get them at the health food store. You can put them in your salad, you can put them in your omelet or shake or whatever. But this has all sorts of tips and lots of recipes, for salads, for tea, for how to prepare the roots, how to prepare the leaves, the flowers, and the tap root. And so a lot of this was sort of refresher information. I love nutrition books, and so dandelion has always been on my radar, but then all of a sudden it reinvigorated and I was all excited, and I got dandelion tea bags while I'm waiting for my dandelions to grow, which, it's a weed, so it should be effortless. But the little seed spores. So this was a single sitting, tiny little book. But it has some really sweet illustrations and fun. Where is the other? Let's see. Of course I say that and now I can't find. But just, some really pretty different styles and everything. But I liked the recipes. I liked how it talks about that, it's sort of a cure-all plant as far as when you ingest it and how it benefits you, but mostly for your liver and cleansing your liver. But it's one of those ones that, definitely good to have in your diet if it does not bother you at all. If you can consume it and you don't have any ill effects from it, then definitely a good one to have in your diet. So this is my nonfiction, but it's been wonderful. Like I said, it just sort of reinvigorated my love for dandelions, and so I'm growing them. I've got tea, reading about it. So this was a fun one. And then for at Bookish Blonde, her prompt was a beautiful cover, and I started reading the Briar Club. And I'm doing sort of a half and half with audio and reading, and I lost my place, but I'm around page 100. I'm somewhere in there, but between the audio and back and forth, I'm really enjoying this. This is set in 1950s Washington State, and it is a mother of a young boy. He's teenage. She's lost her husband, and so she has turned her home into a boarding house for women. It's called the Briar Club because, it's called the Briar Club. It has to do with where the address is. It's something. But anyway, all of the boarders that live there, and they just have tiny little rooms, and there's one up in the attic, and she's just tucking them in where she can fit them and make some money. And so there's one in particular that comes because they'll come and go. But there's one in particular that comes, and they start having a weekly dinner together. And sort of like a potluck where they're all kind of come together, and some of them have children, and so the kids are there, and but it's a very cozy situation where they live close together. They don't all get along. Of course, there's things happening between them, and the mother that owns the house, she has very strict rules, and she decides who can be there and who she deems a proper lady and that is suitable for her house. And so there's a lot of things. And then it's starting to get into the different ladies that live there and their personal lives, and there's like a budding romance with one of them, and I'm really enjoying it. So it's very, very good. And I will probably get through this, very soon, because again, I'm doing audio and the physical book. So this is for at Bookish Blonde. And so far I'm doing very good. That's 3 books. 3 books I've gotten on the Yellow Book Road. Also, for Audio Miles, we did decide on The Dutch House. So that is the book that we have started reading. So I will link the Discord for that. But you listen to The Dutch House while you are walking, while you are exercising, while you are doing physical activity. Log your miles, share where you are in the book, and check in. So listening to The Dutch House, just started that. And then I think, and then The New Husband, the other audiobook that I'm reading with my husband. And we are making progress. It is getting interesting again. Still have so many questions we have not found out. We're just getting more questions. We're not getting more answers, or any answers. We're just getting more questions. So, we just think that this new husband could be any number of things. And yeah, so there's a new character that's sort of put a twist in it. And so now, again, we just have more questions. So, but we are sort of pushing through and trying to get that book read. So I think that's it, because that's the 2 audio. I've got Audio Miles, The Dutch House, The New Husband, and then my 3 so far for the Yellow Book Road. And so far, really good. So far, loved my nonfiction, really loving this, and this was very good. So it's been a very good reading week, and I'm looking forward to the other books that I have for this month and to continue with my audiobooks. So thank you for watching, and until next time, I'll be reading.